Hello, we have to talk again with environmental microbiology and public health, including environmental biotechnology. So here mostly today we have to talk biotechnology and the environment. We know very well we are familiar with biotechnology and how we can use biological techniques in environment. It is a major component of this course and we have to talk in detail that which type of biological techniques we can use for the improvement of the environment. So biotechnology and environment, what is environment? We know very well. Environment describes everything that surrounds a particular organism. So this is called environment, including other organisms, soil whatsoever is present at surrounding of the anyone, air which is present and surrounding of the anyone, and water which is present at surrounding of the anyone, and environmental factors, some temperature, humidity, radiation. So we have talked these things in detail. What is the soil, what is the air, and how we have to treat the water, how water contaminates. Many things we have talked in detail about this. And microorganisms related to temperature and temperatural zones we have discussed in detail in our previous classes, and you can recall those lectures to understand these things in detail. Here we are going to just summarize the environmental biotechnology. So biotechnology and environmental biotechnology, the development, use and regulation of biological system for remediation of contaminated environment. So up to this, it is in detail that we can use biological techniques for the maintenance, for the cleaning, and for maintaining, remedying the environmental contaminations and environmental hazards. Either those hazards, either those contaminants are present in land, in air, or in water, and for environmental friendly process by which we can use a biological system for the remediation of environment, for the cleaning of environment, is called bioremediation. And this has been termed, especially bioremediation, the use of microorganisms to clean the environmental problems, to resolve the environmental problems. So that is called bioremediation. And various type of bioremediation techniques we have studied in our previous series of lectures. So here just we have to understand regarding the course of the environmental biotechnology, techniques which can be used for the improvement of environment, to maintain the environment, to clean the environment. So most thing which is practical till that and which got very advancement, that is bioremediation, in which we are using microorganisms, plants, and other living organisms for cleaning of the environment to resolve the environmental issues. Because environmental issues are raised in this globe due to human activities. When humans are producing something new for this globe that is difficult to be degrade and decompose naturally in environment, so for that we have to use certain techniques to remove or to remediate or to degrade such type of pollutants from the environment. Or another thing, because humans are very active in this globe, they are transporting several various type of materials from one place to another place. Such as you can see, we can ship, we can transport oils from one place to another place. We are carrying toxic materials, gases, chemicals, and another compounds from one place to another place for human activities. If there happens any accident by which these type of pollutants going to the open environment which are causing toxic effects at their surroundings, including air, including water, including soil, soil microorganisms, soil plants, soil vegetation. So such type of accidents are tackled and handled, and such type of issues are resolved by using biological techniques, that is called biotechnology. And in another terms, the resolving of the biological environmental issues by means of microorganisms is called bioremediation. So, what were the issues? Biotechnology in environment. What are the events that triggered the interest in environmental biotechnology? Why men become towards this to resolve the environmental issues by means of the microorganism? Peter Carlson silent spring DDT. This was I event. Love canal people raised to save the canals, to save the lakes when they found that there is a huge and toxic type of chemicals are present in canals which can be used by which are used by human and causing uh, severe health effects on users and the people who are living at the banks of that canal, which are the people who are using those that water of the canal that contains a huge type of chemicals, and people come out to protect it, to demonstrate, to mention that the canals which are carrying toxic chemicals, these must be cleaned and must be stopped. Burning of a river. Also, it is an accident of the United States that the river caught fire due to toxic chemicals, due to spills, any chemical which went into the water, into the river, and that river caught fire. So, and the third thing, Exxon Valdez in 1989. This was a ship of Exxon company carrying oil from one place to another place. And due to accident, oil spilled in ocean and considered the most dangerous oil spill in the history of the United States. So such type of events, they awake that to tackle such type of issues, suppose toxic metals in canals, fire in river due to toxic chemicals, and oil spills, because without that no industrial progress can be taken on this globe. So to resolve such type of issues, men come towards this, that which type of technique we can use to resolve such issues. So they decided that we can use microorganisms which are abundantly present on this globe, on this environment, can and naturally performing their duties to clean the environment, to remediate the environment, can be used for such accidents, for the cleaning of the environment. So what do they all have in common? As we are talking about this, suppose love of canal, silent spring DDT, uh, burning river, and oil spill in ocean, what they have common? The advent of the industrial revolution, because due to increasing population on this globe, requirement and need of the human also increasing. To fulfill these things, industrial revolution is there to create the jobs, to produce the foods, to produce another requirement and need of life. So there is a huge industrialization is going over there on this globe, that increases in product and waste. So what happened? Increases in products and waste. People moved to the cities, increase in human population. Due to this happens. So regulations were passed due to these issues. Industry is going on there. They are producing waste material that is going into the water bodies, into the environment, and causing pollution in environment. Keeping these things, the regulations were passed. Resources Conservation and Recovery Act in 1976. Resources conservation. Whatever resources, natural resources we have, we must have to conserve these resources. And the already destroyed resources we have to recover, because there is a pressure on this globe, on natural resources of this globe. There is a huge pressure due to increasing population, due to increased needs, increased demands of these people. So must we have to think, we have to conserve our resources, and we must to think to recover our destroyed resources of everything which is present on the globe. Either that is water, either that is air, either that is soil, either that is forest. So must identify hazardous waste and establish standards for managing it properly. So they set a community, they uh, developed a mechanism and a setup of human organization that they will identify which are hazardous for this globe, for our environment, in form of the waste material, and they established that if the concentration of these pollutants will increase from this in any environment, that will be banned, that will be stopped, and that will be addressed on immediate basis. And we have to manage all the pollutants which we are producing on this environment in a proper way, to save our resources, and to save our energy and other things. Requires companies that store, treat, or dispose to have permit stating how the waste are to be managed. So how we have to, so require companies, every company which is producing products and waste material, they must have to treat their dispose to have permit stating how to waste are to be managed, a record of its travel chain of custody. So they must have to monitor, they must have to produce their waste material as well as their product. What will be the ultimate life chain of that complete chain of that product and waste material? If there is any chance of that waste material that can go into the environment and can cause any negative impact into the environment, that must be banned. If they have any solution that must be treated before sending it to the environment, that will not cause any negative impact in environment as well as in living organisms. So we must have to care about these things. Therefore, regulations has been set and passed in 1976 to protect the environment, to protect the reservoir resources of our environment, because air, if good air is an asset, is a resource, if it will be contaminated, it will cause negative impacts on human health. Water is main resource of the life. If it will be contaminated, it contain toxic materials, it contain waste materials, it will be toxic, and if contaminated water will be used by the consumers and the public, it will damage the human life. So every contaminant which is coming due to the human activities into environment on the globe Earth, if it is not monitored, there will be the limitation of life on this globe. Therefore, it is very important and very necessary that whatever we are producing due to human activities, due to industrial activities, due to agricultural activities, Due to domestic activities, whatever we are producing, that must be monitored. If that is toxic for the environment, we must have to treat before sending it into the environment. Environmental Protection Energy Agency initiates the Superfund program in 1980. Contract careless and negligent practices. So, Environmental Protection Agency globally, as well as World Health Organization, which is working under UN, Environmental Protection Agency initiates the Superfund program 1980. What they are doing? Counteract careless and negligent practices. They are watching globally that uh, if there is an industry which is working on this globe, producing some product as well as producing waste material that is causing that is properly handled or not. If that is not properly handled and uh, disposed into environment directly without treatment, and that can automatically affect the environment, water, air, and other living organism, that must be monitored and must be reacted. Environmental Genome Project study and understand the impacts of environmental chemicals on human disease. Environmental Genome Project, in this they are analyzing that which type of chemical concentrations, different types of chemicals has been produced due to human activities on this globe that have impacted our environment, and that environment simultaneously influenced the populations, especially microbial population, uh, uh, animals and plants. What is the impact on the population and living organisms? They are looking on it. So, what the other they are looking? They are looking waste material, solid material which is produced by human being, it is treated or not, can be treated biologically, it can be used for landfill combustion, including waste to energy plant, recovery, salaries and composting. So waste material we can use this before sending it to the before disposing it to the environment. Uh, we can convert it into uh, useful useful component. Liquid, suppose septic sewage material, which is liquid containing various type of pollutants. This can be treated before disposing it to the environment. It can be treated in the bulk, injection, gas, fossil fuels, chlorofluorocarbons. These things can be treated sending, before disposing it to the environment. Hazardous, sorry, hazardous, anything that can explode, catch fire, release toxic fumes and particles cause corrosion. So hazardous, anything which can, if we are disposing anything to the environment, which can, anything can be explode, can catch fire, or release toxic fumes to the environment, and particles are cause corrosion. These all such type of all components are considered hazardous. So such type of components can be treated in a special way to stop its negative impact from environment for environment. So everything whatever is produced by the human being on the globe of earth, that if that have some negative impact to the environment, that can be treated by means of the microorganisms before disposing it to environment. And which type of techniques is used by those are mostly are biologically, because chemical techniques are very expensive, therefore those techniques, biological techniques, are used for the improvement and for the treatment of environmental problems is called environmental biotechnology. So garbage test, banana peels can survive in environment for uh, 6 months almost. Wood scrap and sandwich for 4 years. Wax paper for 5 years. Styrofoam cup for 20 years. It can survive in environment, so it is pollution. Tin cans can survive, can live in environment for 100 years. Aluminum soda can for 500 years. Plastic carton 500 years. Glass bottles more than 500 years. So these things are produced in environment abundant. So most suitable are is this. If something can be produced from this, it is suitable because it will be degrade, it will be decomposed in environment rapidly and will cause no negative effects on the environment and will be converted into basic elements. If you will see other things, so we can see a dangerous picture is there because these pollutants will survive in environment for longer time and will impact environment negatively. So we have to stop up to this, and in our next class we will talk